Hello friends, so in the earlier video we have discussed about the different experiments related with photosynthesis and all the things related with autotrophic nutrition. In this video we'll be discussing about heterotrophic nutrition. So when we talk about heterotrophic nutrition, hetero means different and trophic means to obtain. So when an organism, it cannot manufacture its own food, it cannot synthesize its own food, then it obtains ready-made food from different other sources, like we do, human beings we do. So you think about any of your food item, all your food item ultimately comes from the plants, so directly or indirectly. So we are heterotrophic organisms. So that is heterotrophic nutrition, where the organism is obtaining nutrition from ready-made sources. Now when we talk about the types of heterotrophic nutrition, there are basically three types of heterotrophic nutrition: holozoic, saprotrophic and parasitic. Holozoic nutrition, holozoic means the entire thing. For example, so what is holozoic nutrition? The definition goes that when an organism takes in the complex food, the food as it is, and then inside the system the food will be simplified or digested. For example, when we have our food, we cook the food and take the food. We don't simplify the food. For example, suppose you are having potato. We know potato is made up of starch, and starch is a complex chemical made up of glucose. So we don't convert that starch into glucose and then consume it. We consume the starch as it is in the form of potato, and then what we do inside our system, that starch is digested or broken. Such kind of nutrition is called holozoic nutrition. So this holozoic nutrition, depending on the food item that is being consumed, it can be carnivorous, herbivorous or omnivorous. Those you have got right from your early classes. Next is saprotrophic nutrition. Saprotrophic is when organisms, they are simplifying the food outside the system, and that simple food will be absorbed by the system. For example, like fungus. So we know when fungus, they grow, they have a network. Suppose we take the case of a mushroom. So a mushroom itself, it will, with the help of the roots, it will secrete digestive juices. Exactly, not roots, these are the filaments which are called hyphae. So with the help of these filaments, they will secrete digestive juice. Suppose this mushroom is growing on a decaying wood, and it will secrete the digestive juices. The substances will be simplified, and that simplified substances will be absorbed. So that is called saprotrophic nutrition, which is found in the entire kingdom of fungus except for a few parasitic fungus. Next we come to parasitic nutrition. Parasitic nutrition is more of a relationship rather than nutrition. Relationship, like it is a relationship between a host and a parasite. Whatsoever, parasite, movie to dekha hi hoga. So parasitic nutrition is when one organism will live and feed on another organism. So the organism which will live and feed on another organism, that is called a parasite, and the organism on which the parasite will live, that is called the host. So depending on the location of the parasite, parasites can be endoparasites or ectoparasites. Endo means those parasites which lives inside the living system, like it can be tapeworm, liver fluke. All these are examples of endoparasites. Now one of the most deadliest parasites right now is the malarial parasite, Plasmodium. Coronavirus, you cannot call it parasite in the true sense, because viruses are actually not living. They get activated only when they come in contact with any living system. Okay, and ectoparasites are parasites which lives outside our system. For example, like leech can be an ectoparasite, head louse can be ectoparasite. So all these are examples of ectoparasite. So basically in class 10 you have been you are expected to understand holozoic nutrition in details, which happens in case of human beings. But before going to holozoic nutrition in human beings, we'll try to discuss holozoic nutrition in amoeba, which is a kind of heterotrophic nutrition. So I have in this page you'll find different stages which has been discussed. So in case of holozoic nutrition, it involves 5 basic steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and excretion. So what are these steps? Let us understand. Ingestion is taking in the food, and amoeba, suppose there is an amoeba, the easiest drawing in biology, it is a shapeless organism. Shapeless doesn't mean you'll draw, okay, so it is, you'll draw a triangle or a circle and keep, it is shapeless. So there is an amoeba, there is a nucleus since it is a cell. When it detects a food nearby, what it does is that it gives out two arm-like projection. It has flexible plasma membrane, so it will give two arm-like projection around the pseudopodia, and this pseudopodia around the food particle and the pseudopodia, both the pseudopodia will fuse above the food particle and the membrane will pinch in the form of a food vacuole. So up to here is your ingestion, taking in the food. After the food is taken in the food vacuole, a number of digestive juices will be secreted and the food particle will be simplified. That's your digestion. After that, what happens? The digested food particles will be absorbed into the cell. So that is absorption, the third process, and after absorption it will reach to different parts of the cell. That is your assimilation. Now we should remember, amoeba being a single organism, all the steps are performed by the single cell itself. After that, what happens? The food vacuole, what will remain inside the food vacuole are undigested food particle. Apart from those, the waste from the cell, the other waste will also come and get deposited in this vacuole, and this vacuole will slowly get converted into an excretory vacuole, which is also called a contractile vacuole. Okay, let's write the name. It is also called contractile vacuole. Okay, so sometimes it is found that 2-3 food vacuoles which are present inside an amoeba, they come and join together and form a larger contractile vacuole, and slowly this contractile vacuole, which is containing the waste, it will go near to the membrane, it will join with the membrane and it will burst open to release the waste outside. That's your excretion, or rather we can use a better term which is called egestion. In case of food we use the term egestion, because when we say excretion, it can be sweat, it can be urine and whatever. So a specific kind of excretion, egestion. So ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation and egestion. So these 5 steps are the steps present in Holozoic nutrition, which we will also find in case of human beings. So in the next video we'll be discussing about how all this process occurs in case of human beings and how different food particles are or different food molecules are actually digested and absorbed inside our system. Thank you.